Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of the Football Exponential Show. I'm glad to be here with the boys. We've got Frank and Chica, and we're here to cover some interesting match day 13 review from the EPL side of things. How you doing, guys?
All
I'm
good, all good, all good, all
I'm
good. How you
fine.
doing?
It's just cold.
Oh yeah, I know, right? And I
Um,
and I guess it got colder in London. But anyways, we're gonna unpack some of the interesting things that happened over the course of this match day week. Essentially, the focus will be obviously on the biggest match of the season so far, if you think about it in terms of the EPL Champions League, not EPL Championship Challenge, with Chelsea hosting Arsenal, the table leaders, versus the second place Chelsea team before kickoff. Also, part of what we would unpack on today's edition is just some discussion around the Liverpool game, Mo Salah being dropped for that game, and how that has impacted the outcome of the result as well. And obviously, the
yeah,
struggles continue for Tottenham. We're going to talk about that alongside some interesting part, but let's get right into it. I want to get your instant reaction, guys. I had to make sure it's quite some tall order to bring two of the most staunch Chelsea fans that I know to be on the podcast to give an instant reaction. So I hope you guys like, enjoy, share, and of course comment. So let's get it cracking with the match day Super Sunday feature. What's your instant reaction for that game, Chelsea against Arsenal? I'm starting with you, Mr. Frank.
oh with me, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a game that was billed as the game of the season so far. To the one unstoppable force in the Premier League. They don't concede goals. They've been looking fantastic this season, and the title pretender in Chelsea, and how both teams matched. And I felt in the first half, before the record, I felt it was a very good game. I felt Chelsea coped quite well with Arsenal's threats and started to play a bit of football. But I think the biggest talking point of the game was the deserved red card for Caicedo, in my opinion. And I think for I'm not I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad with Caicedo. I think since he's been at Chelsea, he's been one of Chelsea's most important and consistent players. He had a bad day today. He made a mistake. We draw a line over it and move on. His teammates helped him with his teammates responded with a good performance in the second half. And we took the lead, got pegged back, but I think overall, I think Chelsea can be happy with that performance. And even but I'm slightly disappointed we didn't pose more threat to the Arsenal team because I felt they were there for the taking for Chelsea today. I felt we could have gotten something from that Arsenal team. That everybody has told me are title favourites. They are such a dependable team that they can beat anybody. But I didn't see that today. I didn't see this invincible team everybody was talking about. I didn't see a team that looked. I didn't see a team that was ready to go 9 points clear today with Arsenal.
Yeah, I almost would agree with everything that you've said. I expected more from Arsenal as well, if you
Yeah.
ask me. But just before I kind of shed light as to what I think in the game, I also want to know, Chica, what's your reaction to that match?
I was disappointed with the scoreline, even though Chelsea got. It's like to me, it's like 2 points lost. I don't feel like a point game. It's like 2 points lost because two things that I felt was very very important. 50-50 balls. When I watch the ball, I look at 50-50, and I feel that that shows that you want the win or you want the game more than the other party. If you watch the game in the second half, there was a more than 60-40 ball or 70-30, and Gusto got it and then pushed the counter. That showed you how much Chelsea wanted to win the game. But at the end, it didn't work out, and I laid the blame at Joao Pedro. I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed with his game today because I don't know why he's always reluctant
For
to
a long,
shoot. He doesn't
no,
like to
no,
shoot. He
no, no sorry, question, but not just today. I think in recent months, and I've not been. I know he's scored in the last few games, but I've not been happy with his overall performance. And I think it's a game like today. You see why he was dropped for the Barcelona game, where he doesn't play with intensity, and I don't I can't appreciate any player that doesn't play with intensity. You don't play with crowd like because again you get those chances. I know this is a good team. That's not a very good team, but you have to be when you get those kind of openings, you have to be decisive. If you either you're passing or you're going for goal by yourself, but you need to be clinical. You need to be decisive. And it's not, and I'm not saying Chelsea could have won the game if he had done this, but I felt he could have done more in that first half before the red card. And
Yeah.
we all know that will be a different game, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
And then
still,
today, I think that was Caicedo's first Premier League red card. So for those that
Yeah,
say he always plays on the edge, he doesn't play on the edge. When you are that good and when you play that position and you're that influential, you have some wrong calls. But today was a deserved red card, and I'm
yeah,
disappointed. Yeah.
yeah.
no, absolutely. I do share in both of your frustrations and the frustration of a lot of other Chelsea fans, even though I have a smile on my face. But the reality is that I don't even think Caicedo had a bad game.
No, it was
It
good. It
was
was good.
it was the decisive moment in the game with that sending off, but also even to the build up of that sending off, he was present. He was always there for the tackle. He was always there to remind his man that I'm here. Yeah, maybe there's been excessive use of force as well, which is very typical of his playing style. But I think that is what the manager wants to see. And if I was a Chelsea supporter, I'm not really going to be very disappointed. I won't leave this fixture with my head dropped whatsoever. I think there's also a couple of players on the Chelsea team that are not getting as much mention as they should. I think Pedro Neto is the real Pedro that you guys have.
Yeah.
I think that is the guy that is always a constant outlet for the ball for Chelsea to soak up pressure and move forward with, especially the link up between Sanchez and Pedro is funny for me to say a goalkeeper and a winger link up consistently. Like every time Sanchez faces the other direction as though he's going to release the ball there. He always sends it back to Pedro, and Pedro would at least progress the ball up the other side of the pitch. So those are some of the bright lights when you think about it from Chelsea. But I'm extremely disappointed in Arsenal if I'm to say, like, 45 minutes to play, 45 minutes to win the game, 45 minutes to show creative dominance, 45 minutes to show consistent composure and control of the game. None of those things were present today.
I
Odegaard
agree.
coming in, Odegaard coming in was a little bit an upgrade to Easy, who I think was just another passenger on the pitch. I feel like if Zubimendi didn't have that yellow card at the first half, he probably would stay longer in the game and maybe be more assertive in controlling the game. I also feel like games like this, Noni could have done more, at least playing against your former employers. You should be able to show why you've moved on to a better club, for example. None of that was present today. Another person that just went unnoticed is Garnacho. Garnacho came in for 45 minutes. I actually didn't see anything he did. So if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be calling him out. He should be doing more. He should be at least trying to give a little more balance to what Pedro Neto had done, considering that Pedro Neto even played a longer period of the game,
No,
even with the
I
man
think that's
down.
harsh. Again,
Yeah.
far be it for me to come and defend Galatasaray. I think he did what the team needed in the second half. I think you go in there, you know that Arsenal are very dangerous on that right side. You help Cucurella, who's already on yellow card. You contain that threat they have. I think Timber was non-existent as an attacking force, down because of the threat of Garnacho on the counter attack. You didn't see Timber overlapping or giving a hand in the attack to help Saka beat his man. But again, I think the second half, everybody on that pitch, on the Chelsea perspective, they were all nines out of tens. They gave the effort, they gave the commitment, the concentration was there. And a big shout out to Sanchez and Trevor Chalobah. I think
Yeah.
Sanchez today at times looked unbeatable. Chalobah was fantastic. Well, and again, I think for Chelsea, you just have to go back again and try and get back to winning ways in the
Yeah.
next round.
Before the season
Yeah.
started, I felt
Mhm.
that I tipped Arsenal. I felt they were favourites to win the league. Remember we had that argument. I told you
Yeah, you
everybody
did.
was
Yeah,
praising Liverpool, but I said Arsenal because they didn't lose anyone. But having watched this season, I haven't been impressed with Arsenal, and I say it over and
you,
over again. No, I
you
haven't.
haven't.
No, I haven't. This is the reason why I haven't. I haven't. If you remember, I told you the
Okay.
reason why I haven't is they win games, they play
Yeah.
well, they just get it done. It's difficult to get it done in 38 games. When I grew up, I watched league seasons. I watched best players. I watched Sir Alex Ferguson teams. Vidic, Ferdinand, we are miles above every other team. You could have a Nani, you could have an Anderson, you could have passengers, but you had like 4 or 5 players. You had Rooney, you had Tevez. With this Arsenal team, every other person is not above every other player. Saliba is playing well, don't get me wrong, but he's not individually playing that good. The same with Gabriel. You only have no.
Wait,
Hold
yeah. No,
on.
no, go,
Understand what I'm
go.
saying? I can show you games where I've watched. They play as a unit. That is why when
Okay, yeah,
Saliba goes, Mosquera comes in, they don't lose anything. Hincapié comes in, they don't lose anything. Individualistically, the only two players that have been miles above every other person is Declan Rice and Timber. To me, those players have been miles above every other player. So to me, I'm looking at in some key games, if you play as a unit in those key games, you can meet some opponents. Because Saka, to me, since I started watching football, this is the worst season I've seen Saka. He has not been Martinelli or Trossard comes in, he scores some key goals. Jokeres hasn't blown you up. Understand what I'm trying to say? Declan Rice
Yeah,
has been
I
if you
understand.
check all the teams that
I
won the
understand.
Premier League title, you check Manchester City, even you check Leicester City, you had N'Golo Kante out of it, you had Jamie Vardy out of it. I need to see like 4 or 5 players out of it in this team. It is more of a unit team. So
And
that's
wait,
it. That's my problem with the team.
yeah,
And
which, no, yeah,
yeah,
go.
no, just to echo to that, right? You know, the different ways at which I've seen, like even if you go to Chelsea under Conte, Conte, one of the Premier Leagues that you guys won, I think the one with Diego Costa.
Yeah,
I've seen Chelsea teams grind results. I've seen Chelsea teams win trophies from not being the most flamboyant team. But the problem
yeah,
that I have with this Arsenal team is um you're going for a competition that is obviously long. I don't see enough attacking threat. I don't see enough outlets to get goals. I don't see how they construct their goals. And I'm not just saying, I know that having a solid defense wins you title. A lot of people say that, but they say that in the context of having a potent attack as well. Because especially with the way football is moving now, you need to score as much goals as possible. Like, again, I still want to stress on my disappointment for playing 45 minutes and only getting a goal from um it's not a corner, but it's another form of set piece. It just means that there is no link up play, there is no build up, there is no interchange of passes. I know there are different ways for which you get your goals,
yeah,
but I can say going off this full 90 minutes, if Chelsea had played with a complete team, like had played with 11 against 11 in the second half, probably Chelsea would win the game because Arsenal did not show enough. Now, it could be the fact that Stamford Bridge, regardless of how small it is in terms of size and fan and all of that, is becoming a
it's
fortress
compact.
right now. People are starting, Chelsea fans are starting to go into the stadium believing that you come to our home, you are not going to have a good night. You're either going to get frustrated, you're either going to get whatever the case might be, and it is present. Like you mentioned earlier, the intensity is there. Big ups to Enzo, not the coach, Enzo, the Argentine midfielder. He was
Fernandez.
present. He was present. He was everywhere. He started to do and no offense intended, but he started to do the typical Argentine thing. He started to wind up players. He started to attract a situation where an Arsenal player could lose their cool and get sent
Yeah,
off. Like for
that's true.
example, there was a moment in the game where I don't know why he was on the why he was on the floor on the pitch, but you need things like that to show the mentality that we will do what is necessary to keep the game going
Yeah,
and keep it like. It's a huge level of disappointment that Arsenal didn't test Sanchez enough. It's also good to see Shaloba grow into that centre back pairing, and I think it can only get better for Chelsea from here going forward, provided they keep the momentum going, provided they continue to shuffle the pack. And interestingly, they did all of this even without Cole Palmer. He was an
yeah,
option to come off the bench. And I think this is a game where you have to look at the tactical brilliance from Enzo Maresca to know when to use his weapons, even though he has them available. This game, I knew if well, I would have predicted if Kopama comes into this game, Chelsea will lose some intensity on the press as a unit.
yeah,
It might give you more going forward in terms of ball control. It could give you more in terms of trading the passes forward. But Chelsea need to go out next season and consider what they need to do for a permanent fix for the striking position. Joao Pedro doesn't come off to me as a natural finisher. Take an instance into take an instance into the chance that Isak finished today. This was a natural finisher, one time
Well,
smashing it
okay,
bang. And
okay.
I'm not saying Isak
Okay,
has
wait,
had a better season, but
I'll
I'm
stop
just
you there.
giving you I'm giving you an example of a player who knows where the post is at every time and is willing to shoot the trigger. That is
That
not
was his
Joao
first.
Pedro. That's his
That was
first
his
goal for Liverpool in the
first
EPL.
goal this
I
season.
understand. I understand all of that, but I'm just saying
Okay,
to you that regardless of that,
I agree. I
you
agree with your point.
know that as a striker, you have certain expectation. Like
You need
and
to
that
be
would and that
you need to be.
and
I feel you need to be a killer, and I feel like I feel the problem with this with Joao Pedro is he's not that guy that wants to score goals. I think he wants to play nice. If he gets a chance, he'll take a chance. But I need a guy that has that mentality that I want to get goals. I'm hungry for those goals, like a Victor Osimhen kind of like Victor Osimhen kind of guy. But just to come to Arsenal's defense for a minute, I feel with Arsenal it's not about being a vintage Premier League winning team. I think for them it's just about winning this Premier League. They don't. I don't feel they should care about how they will do it, and I don't feel this is not the strongest Premier League we have. Like we've seen
Mm.
stronger positions. For them, I don't think Arsenal gets 90 points this season, and that's been the bar for the last few years or before recently. But for them, it's just about seeing the job out game after game, and more importantly, just being the best out of the rest. It doesn't matter if, like we saw with Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool were not a vintage Premier League team. Like you won't look back in 5 years and say, oh, that Liverpool team was an outstanding Premier League. Like Chika referred to the Vidic, the Ferdinands, the Rooney Tevez United team. Like you said, Chelsea with Costa and Hazard. I don't think that's not that team. But they have what they have. They have a very strong spine. Gabriel, Gabriel Raya, Declan Rice. For me, Declan Rice is an amazing player, but I think the best player on the pitch today was Rhys James. But there's one thing I noticed with Declan Rice in the first half, and just bear with me. You know, the best attacking playmakers. Then in yesterday, they have this the way they move their body with the ball, like it's almost like a dance. I
Mhm.
think Declan Rice has that same thing, but in a defensive capacity where he knows how to move his body around the pitch and just make it because there's a block he made on Neto in the first half,
Oh yeah, that was
which
Yeah.
I
brilliant.
feel
That
like
was brilliant. That was
that
brilliant.
is like that's a match winning tackle there. That's a league winning tackle right there where Neto beats him, but the way he reacts, the way he contorts his body to make that block, it's world class. But again, I think overall I'm worried. I think I need Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Villa. I need everybody to win. I don't want Arsenal to win this Premier League. They can't finish. They can't. Guys, I'm worried. I'm worried.
Well, unfortunately, I might be here to break your heart, but um, they're looking like they would win it. Although I'm still convinced that Man City would just about nick it when the time is right. Um, Man City is not having a great start to the season. In fact, it's so funny and it sounds very cliche this when we're talking match day 13 and we're still looking at the start of the season, but we're 5 games away from mid-season, and you still know that there are a couple of other teams that haven't moved up to the next gear. You know that there's a probability that they can switch gears and come alive. An example is Man City. An example is even Chelsea. I still feel like Chelsea is probably still have a notch or two that they can click into and things can go better for them. Even Liverpool can still have a turnaround. I mean, Liverpool is having a really shitty season, but if you look at the table, it's 3 points between them and Chelsea right now, sitting in third place. And
Is it?
yeah, I think it's 24 to 21 or something like. Fact check me, please, but I think it's something like
I
that.
think Chelsea is
And
24, City is 25, Arsenal is like way ahead, maybe
Arsenal is
28 or something.
30. Arsenal
Yeah,
is 30. It's five points.
like again, you're indeed right. Like they are just like Liverpool are 9 points behind Arsenal.
Yes, 9 points behind now, three
Which
points behind Chelsea,
yeah,
and it's still 5 points between Arsenal and Man City, and those kind of leads can go away very quickly. It's just one bad week, one bad game in mid-season, another bad one in the weekend, and you're talking about a very
yeah.
open title challenge. And that is why if I were an Arsenal fan, I would be worried about the attacking potency. I would be worried about again, it's the league. The goal difference is always going to count, but like I need to see them go in and win some games 2-3-0, 4 goals,
Okay.
five, and that is not happening right now. But moving on from the Chelsea Arsenal game, which was a nice cutting closer for the weekend. But let's look at some of the things that happened earlier before that. The West Ham hosting of Liverpool, another interesting game that happened in London. For that game, for that instant reaction, how did you feel when the lineup was out and Mo Salah was not going to start the game?
It could be the end of an era.
Wow, that's very cutthroat. But yeah,
No, no,
Because the fans
no,
have
but
been calling for it. Like if you check online,
no,
Carragher,
I think yeah, exactly. I think
Carragher
it's
has
more.
been calling for this. This I feel he's in honeymoon right now. Every day he has Musala. He comes to TV, he talks about Musala. You start asking yourself, Carragher is 100% Liverpool. Liverpool flows through him. But it's asking yourself, does Salah play for Everton? Because the way he attacks Salah as an individual, you don't realize he plays for Liverpool. So they he's having a bad game. Everybody's talking about him. Oh, drop him, drop. They hardly talk about Van Dijk. So I think they are getting what they wish. And I like Salah as an individual, but I don't like Liverpool as a club. But if the team continues to play well and continues to win, he will continue to be on the bench. But I think he will. There are some games they will need him, but that might be the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of an era.
If we could dissect your statement just a little further, right? Um, I don't think Liverpool played well. I think they did get the victory, but I don't think they played well. The second goal didn't come until the 9 minutes of the game, and this is again in this feature where um Pasqueta was just
Was
Pasqueta.
sent off,
He did
and he saw what he wrote
he got
online,
sent
and he
off.
said he had. I think he was referring to mental illness about how he was treated by the FA. Did you read it?
Wait. You're lying. Is,
I'm serious.
is
Go
that?
read it. I checked
No,
it
no, no,
online
no,
on
no.
his Instagram account. He was talking about he was behaving the way he was behaving. This is as a result of the FA coming at you for 2 years. I nearly lost. I was like, just say sorry.
Let's
I'm
let
sorry. I'm not
let's
perfect.
let's not even get into that. Let's just keep it to what happened on the pitch because Pasqueta and his off the field antics and all of those things, we don't have enough facts and we don't want you proponently to speak about
I
alleged
was happy he
statements.
wasn't banned.
But
I was so happy he was. I just want him to play football.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. But it's shocking. He's shocking because it looked like he was calling for that red card. He looks like
he was calling for the
I
record.
mean, he
Because
looks like he was calling for that
Allison
red
got
card.
involved and Allison deserted him at the point. Like, I can't help this guy. You know, it's so
Mm-hmm,
bad when the opposing players
mm-hmm,
keep holding you. And Allison gave up. I'm like, let me go back to my goalpost.
mm-hmm.
And the referee was so patient. I've never seen a referee in modern time that patient. And it's ugly. The problem is over. We now start talking about it instead of talking about the game. But London Stadium is a stadium
Exactly.
West Ham have struggled. So I won't really. It's a good win. But
But
West Ham was strong.
at that point in the game, it was they were still just 1-0 down. Um, this has not been the most brilliant Liverpool that we've come to see in recent times. There were opportunities for them to still try and maybe nick a goal and get a tie in the game, and you just put your team on such a huge disadvantage.
Yeah.
Um, and right now it just makes everything more complicated. But sticking to the Liverpool side of things, I think sincerely, Florian Wirtz, he could use a sport therapist right now. He could. I think there's something clouding his vision when it comes to goal. There's something affecting him. He panics a lot when he's
Or he's
like
not. Or again, I'll just keep it simple. Or maybe he's not as good as advertised because it's not just him. You also see his fellow guy that came from the Bundesliga, Simmons. Simmons cannot get a game in that Tottenham team, and that Tottenham team is shocking. Like again, like I know. Let's not make excuses for this guy. He's a big. Fred is a big boy. Fred is £100 million signing. Let's keep it real. He's not playing well enough. Like
Yeah, he's not playing well enough. He's like, so I don't have too much concerns with his interplay when the game is flowing. I have concern when he's at the point where he could make a deciding or contributing um moment in the game. An example was even in this West Ham against Liverpool's fixture. There was a header, the one that ricocheted off Isak, and Isak tried to play the ball in. Like Florian Wirtz could have just made contact with the ball and that was a goal. And then there's also another one. The keeper was already on the floor. He had committed to be on the floor, and Florian Wirtz played it right into the keeper's arms. I feel like, again, personally, if I was a Liverpool fan, that would be really frustrating, and I could literally ask him
Yeah.
to go get some help off the pitch, and hopefully that could translate into more confidence. I think his
Or
head is
go back
down right now.
or go back home because like again I'll quote my goalkeeper this week
Hmm.
when Sanchez said after the Barcelona game like
Hmm.
sometimes there are a lot of players that think they are top players until they play in England, and
Mm.
that's what's happening.
Was that what he
I,
said?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
what
were
he said.
referring to
I don't
Lamar.
know. I don't. No, I don't think it was. I don't think. I just think. I think it's just a broad statement. Like
I
what
get
we,
it.
like the guys we have in this Premier League that are good. Like you just can't. You have to earn the right
The,
to play.
the reason why I've been silent on this topic with Vez is that I didn't really watch him that much. You watch him in Bundesliga.
Yeah,
I've never
I
liked
was a big
him.
fan. I was a big
I
fan.
never
Yeah,
liked him.
I was gonna quote Frank because once upon a
Yeah,
time,
he
Frank
was high on
believed
him. He was high on
Florian
him.
Wirtz had more attacking presence than Pedri did, or
Yeah,
more attacking contribution, or more influence on the game. Yeah, you said that to me multiple times. You said that is
yeah.
a £100 million player over there, and the other one just ballerina dancing. You said that, and I said again, I appreciate
Allegedly,
Florian Wirtz. I appreciate.
allegedly,
I'm saying it to your face, and I'm saying it with as much confidence. Although it didn't
and I'm
happen
saying
on recording,
allegedly.
but
I
well,
I watch
abs-
I haven't I watch him very little games, but for Germany, I've watched the German team, and I don't
no,
even
forget
know he's
about the
on the
German team at
pitch.
the moment.
But
Forget the
hold
German
on.
team at the
I was
moment.
playing.
That team is under construction.
Yeah,
It's
but
under
I'm not even
construction. It's
talking about
literally
now. I'm talking
we
about
are
way
close.
Euros. Talking about way Euros
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
2 years back. Now
yeah, yeah.
I watched Musiala just one game. I'm like, this guy.
I think we lost you for a little bit. Do you want to check your audio?
For example, to
It's
me, you
good.
have to play on the wing. Like to me, that's it. But when you are playing centrally in the Premier League, you are going against men. So that's why so you have to be extremely skillful. Mike Owen was small, but he was quick, he was fast. So he doesn't appear like that to me. In German team, he doesn't excite me. So I don't know if the struggle is real, but I feel that he signed. I always say he signed a 5 year contract or 6 year contract. This is just 1 year. Let's wait for the second year because I don't think anything can happen at the end of the season. But I don't see much changing going by records of
Yeah,
other
no,
players.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely spot on that. But moving on from West Ham, Liverpool, hopefully, Reds gets help. Liverpool keeps the momentum going, so we watch more bigger teams challenge for this title. But speaking of big teams and those who normally find themselves in those conversations, do you guys really believe Tottenham should still be discussed as a big team, given their current recent display, not just this season, even building to seasons slightly before this? Because it was another unproductive day for Frank in the office, not this one, although we have that kind of we have that kind of thing going on, but another unproductive day for Mr. Frank, the head coach of Tottenham. What do you have to say about your namesake?
Chika, wait, no, Chika, that's your guy. Chika, defend your guy.
That's my man, the Frank
You know
Frank
what?
Thomas Frank. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
me some Thomas Frank. I love Thomas Frank, and I pray it works out for him. Like I really I have to force
It's
myself.
not good. It's,
It's not
see,
it's not happening.
you know what, guys, apologies. We got that wrong. Cause, I've been on the Thomas Frank bandwagon for a long time. But, also, but I think seriously, I think this is not just a Thomas Frank problem. This is a Tottenham problem. Like it's not. You can't keep going through managers where they go through managers. I just think it's just not. There's no greater problem at the club. I think the recruitment at that club is terrible. Like the way they sign players makes no sense to anybody. It
But they
makes no
signed
sense to the players
Kudus.
itself.
They signed
But
Kudus, good signing, no?
Apart from
but
Kudus,
could
that
but
team is
no. But including Kudus is a top player.
well,
Oh
he
yeah, he was
solves
a
the
top player
problem.
last season in the Premier League.
He sol-
No, he wasn't.
he
No,
solves
he
In the
wasn't.
Premier League last season, or even the season
N-
before last.
No,
At West Ham?
But he's an
All
exciting
Kudus has
player.
done.
He's an exciting player.
Exactly, he's an exciting. All Kudus has done at West Ham and even at Tottenham now, he showed flashes of brilliance. He does not have enough that puts it to a 90 minutes performance or even a 45 minutes performance. I say, you know what, that's a good player right there. That's a player that you can bet the attack on. It can, like, do you say, like, in terms of like the guys like before he went to Tottenham, the Semenyos, the Mbuemos, do you think Kudus is on that level? I don't think so.
Then what you're saying about Kudus is not the same you say about Eze.
But no, Eze is different gravy. Eze is different gravy.
Why?
And again,
Why? What's the difference?
well, if you watch them, Eze is involved in games. Like Kudus goes for long spells of games, just not doing anything.
I'm a
I
Kudus
don't. I
fan.
don't agree with you.
There's nothing. I get him though, but I'm a
I don't
Kudus
agree
fan.
with
I
you.
just feel the problem I have with Spurs is that there are some teams I look at. I look at Spurs. I look at Manchester City, and I look at United to some extent. Whoever takes over or is still in this team, they have a lot of overhauling to do. There's some recruitment they've gotten wrong. Let me give you an example with Spurs. They have the centre back of Romero and Van der Ven right. The two of them right. The goalkeeper is not. The goalkeeper is not ideal to me. You can manage Udogie or Udogie with Spence. You can manage that. Pedro Puro has some limitations, but you can manage that. But in midfield, Bentancur, he's not good enough. They have Bevai. Bevai, I like Bevai a lot. But to me, he has to play in deep midfield. He can't play. He's not all that creative to play, but he's not. But he can't be. He's not. He can't be starting games for you. Pepasa is all about energy, but he doesn't do much about energy and shooting. He can shoot very, very well, but he doesn't do much. Ben Johnson just scores goals. He can't cross the ball, but he knows how to. So they have it. Richarlison to me is not just there. Then Solanke is injured. So that's why I'll never bring Thomas Frank.
Then you have Madison.
I just feel
you have Madison who is confident.
It's not even consistent. Kukulevsky is good to me. Well,
in his medical practice.
He's always
and then
injured.
You have, yeah.
Okay. But I feel with Tottenham. Like I think first of all, I think the fans have Thomas Frank has lost the fans.
Yeah,
it's not such a hard job to lose Tottenham fans. It's one of the easiest things you can do in football.
Yeah, to lose the fans, right?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of job to do. Like you lose those fans after 10 games because the originality is not there. The chemistry is not there. There's not enough patience. They want to.
To me, if I'm a coach, the two clubs I'm not going close in Premier League, Tottenham and West Ham. I detest the fans because this is the problem I have with the fans. If this coach is winning, just keep him. They argue the Tottenham way, but the Tottenham way have not won you no trophy. They had Harry Redknapp play the Tottenham way. They had the same thing with West Ham. David Moyes was there. Sam Allardyce was there. These fans complain a lot. They want to play well. Look at Arsenal fans. Arsenal is not playing the best football. The fans are not complaining. All the fans want is to win trophy. Tottenham is not like that. They want you to play Tottenham way. They want to win a trophy again. So that's the problem I have with the club.
I think the club has this. I think they have this dissonance in terms of what they're trying to do. Again, I could be wrong, but I think Tottenham, in terms of the Premier League hierarchy, they are closer to a West Ham than they are closer to a Man City. And I know the fans need to realize that we need to put the work in. We need to find a way to navigate this. You can't skip steps in the Premier League. You need to grow. You need to find a way to become stronger over time. Ange wasn't the guy. Ange is gone now. Thomas Frank looks like he's not the guy. But I feel Daniel Levy has left the club right now. I don't know to what extent he still has control of what his hands are in that club. But I think, first of all, the guys in the recruitment, Sporting Director, they have to go. Like, those guys have to go first. Then you find a way to, you change, you overhaul the recruitment, you get in another coach. And you just hope this time the fans stick to the guy for at least longer than a month. Because, again, I understand it's tough. Like, it's tough seeing your team lose game after game. And again, the Tottenham, like some Tottenham fans, they pay big money to watch their club at the Tottenham Stadium. Again, I understand it, but you can't skip steps in football.
Yeah,
say for example, you bring in a Dzerbi, for example. Dzerbi will come in, and the first thing he wants is Palinia, Benteke, Bissouma, all of them out. I need midfielders in this team. I need midfielders that can pass the ball. The
No,
goalkeeper, I'm not a fan of the goalkeeper either. Just that, and the two centre backs, in my opinion, they are two of the most overrated players in the Premier League. Van der Ven and Romero. They will sell you. They will always sell you short.
yeah. Well, honestly, most of these things you say, I can't really argue against it for assuming I'm a Tottenham fan. But I feel like the biggest thing that needs to happen is the mindset shift for Tottenham fans. I think they need to come off their high for a little bit. They need to adjust to the reality. You are not that club. You're not there yet. You probably have never been there. And at the pace you're going, you probably would not be there. I think that's the first level of realization that needs to happen among the fan base, that we are not there. You cannot go into a Premier League season with Richarlison and Solanke and an expectation to do something about it, or even qualify in the Champions League, to the
And
Champions League
kudos.
round.
And
Then,
kudos.
then you throw into the mix a couple of others like Bentacore, etc., etc. So, but in reality, that defeat to Fulham would hit them a bit differently because
Mhm.
they've had stinger of games like
They
compiling
have
on
they are
top of each
12th in the
other.
league, 5
Yeah,
losses,
Uh,
3 draws, 5 wins in 13 games. This is their third straight losses. Third straight losses. And at
and
home,
I.
they are so bad at home.
From the home form
Uh,
is bad. Which
and for me, I was waiting to hear who Thomas Frank was going to nominate for the EPL Player of the Year, since that is take away from at the end of every defeat. Last game in the Champions League against PSG, he had nominated VTR to be the next Ballon d'Or. Probably whoever played better against Fulham would have been the next EPL Player of the Year. But jokes
Harry
apart,
Wilson.
Harry Wilson will probably be the EPL Player of the Year, whoever has a great performance against him. But again, they need to look at it. How did we go from not signing Eze to signing Xavi Simons? How did we go from not replacing Harry Kane and putting two guys, Richarlison, Solanke? That's not how you progress forward. How do you go from Son to to I mean, but reality check for Tottenham, another defeat. And I think with that, we can say, let's quickly look at the standing of the Premier League. Do you guys feel like the season is going to end with the position these clubs are right now, or do you think there'll still be a lot of movement amongst
Everybody's
the
close
top
right
six?
now.
No,
Everybody's
no,
close.
it's still everybody's cool.
It's
I
still
think
early.
there's no. I think the only place where there's separation in the league is Wolves, Burnley, Leeds, and the rest. Everybody's still even if you take in Manchester United for example, United are still in the mix for a top four finish. Like even Liverpool are not. You won't exactly rule Liverpool out of a title race. It's still. I feel the next month or two will be very interesting. Like the games are coming quick and fast. A lot of teams will probably drop points, but I think it's still. I think the Premier League is just across 17 teams. There are some good teams in the Premier League. Like it's tough. It's so tough.
Perfect, perfect. So our amazing viewers and subscribers, don't forget to like, share, comment. Let us know what you think, if the table is gonna stay this way, if there's still gonna be a lot of traction in terms of for some clubs who haven't started really well, like Liverpool, etc. And let's see, we want to get those reactions as we continue to prepare for a match build up for match day 14 for you guys. But before we go, any parting word from Chicken Frank, and how do you guys want to encourage your fellow Chelsea fans group after match day 13?
I was excited when I found out we're playing Leeds United in our next game.
You're
So
excited. I'm worried.
no, I'm not. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm only worried because this first team played 90 minutes, so none of them are going to start. Like, or 2 or 3 are going to start. We use fresh players. So, but at least if we get a win, we'll start December. Fine. I'm waiting
Yeah,
till
yeah.
second week of December because last season, after we beat Brentford, our season went down here after we beat Brentford. The next game against Everton, I think it was before Christmas, like 15th or 16th
Yeah,
of
just
December.
yeah,
So it's around the corner. Let's see. We'll have a long way to go.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
and
And
just
for you, Frank?
and I think overall, like looking at everything in totality, I think Chelsea have had a very good week. 3 points away at Burnley, defeating the arch nemesis in the European football, Barcelona by 3 goals to nil,
Mhm.
which was very exciting for me to watch and see and getting a draw against Liverpool Arsenal, which it's on paper is not a bad result, but I think overall Chelsea are in a good place right now. But we need to build on this and go forward. I think Leeds game is a must win if you really want to show it, because again, like, you don't know what can happen in those midweek games. I know I know for a fact a lot of clubs will drop big teams will drop points this week. I don't know which of them. Tottenham away at Newcastle. I think Arsenal are away at I don't know Arsenal play, but I think it's going to be an opportunity to just capitalize on whoever drops points and just create that separation. But up the
It,
Blues and
is Chelsea hosting Leeds or they're going away?
away at Leeds. Like
Mm, okay.
I think it's a tough game. I think it's
Yeah,
for me.
I
It
think
could be tougher. It could be tougher than this Arsenal game.
No,
I think
because Arsenal have Brentford to play, so I would rather have Leeds than Brentford.
yeah,
I won't play Arsenal.
I think Man City fans will have a different opinion given how they performed against Leeds at home in Etihad. But well, better luck for Chelsea as you travel to Leeds. But I think that should be a wrap for today's coverage.
Yeah.
Again, thanks everyone for staying tuned with us and expect our next coverage. Take care, guys.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.